Hello everyone, my name is Draco and I'm here to teach you some of my skills and traditional drawings of the human body. Before we start however, these first few videos are to give you a foundation of how to size and determine what or not you should use in dynamic drawing. I really want to emphasize that with these videos you will learn how to set up poses with tricks and tips that I will teach you and recommend you other videos to go along with your art journey. I will not be teaching, however, shading, coloring, or anything else besides human anatomy in this series of video. I just want to help push your boundaries in whatever art phase you're stuck at right now. Always push your boundaries. Now, let's begin. When drawing art, I think of what will determine what. So, just take this tree for example. You start. The tree starts with the roots essentially. From the roots, you will go from the bottom of the trunk all the way up to the branches, and then from the branches, you go from the smaller branches that sprout out from there, and then the leaves or maybe fruits. With that in mind, this base circle will be our roots. The base circle will just determine how things will be set up. Maybe you'll set it up from a third perspective view or a front perspective view, or maybe from the side. However you choose, these these roots will determine how your character is basically grows, essentially. How I start from art, however, is I start with a circle, I draw a line to determine from the height of the head to the bottom of the jaw. With the jaw, essentially, you can do many things with the jaw. You can draw a wide jaw or lower jaw. Open mouths are really tricky. I haven't really practiced with that because I don't draw like characters that talk a lot. I draw mostly concept art and maybe like still life in a sense. However, back to jaws. um, closed mouth jaws are depicted as a bit of a triangle shape, really. With this triangle shape, you can set up anything you want. Maybe just a pointy chin with a round, or maybe a sharp jaw in this case. However you choose, there's tons of options. Like, I just want to let you know that there are plenty of options to start from, and depending on how your character will look like, starting with the jaw will help determine how everything else goes. So with the jaw, basically, I would go from the ears. This is how I start because it's just, for me it is easier that way when you go from the jaws to the ears, because like our tree example here, one thing will determine the other. Now, there are plenty of ear types essentially. There's this hooked ear. I don't really know like the correct term for it, but then there's this one that just connects to the skin directly, unlike this hooked one. Or maybe, no, however you can probably whatever you can come up with, really. And from there, I start with the brows, because then, the way I think of it, when I look at myself in the mirror, I can see that my ears can tell me where the where my brow line is. Maybe my brow line might be a few centimeters taller, depending on like my ear size or anything. But essentially, it'll go from the brow line, or the ears, to the brown line. And then from the brown line, I then can draw the nose and the eyes. I won't go into eyes too much because there are all types of eyes you can come up with. Mostly, a lot of artists just do the football. I'm more of a comic artist, so I just draw big anime or cartoon eyes, essentially. I wouldn't get too stuck up drawing with one style. I would like for you to know that you can draw all kinds of stuff. Just go along with your gut, and whatever your style is calling for, then I'd stick with that. This just happens to be my style. Pointy chins with nice smooth jaws. I should get to do. I should be getting around to doing more, um, like universal characters in a sense. After I draw the brow line, I would then go from there to either the eyes or the nose. I already talked about eyes, but from the nose, I I usually go pretty low, probably down to the circle or lower maybe, depending on my character and how their nose is built. But you gotta save room for the mouth and the bottom of the like the place for the chin, I guess. Going from there, after you draw your nose and your mouth, um, I would then start with the neck or the hair. Usually, to save time from erasing a lot of stuff, I would go with the hair. But I have a hard time with hair, so I I just draw whatever feels right at the time. Your pace should be whatever you make it to. I'm just telling you how I'm doing it because this has worked for me and I like the way that I draw. Although there are some things that I need to fix. Um, back back to hair. With hairlines, this blue line on this female oriented character is more of a round shape, but there are some there's some um there's some females who have maybe a pointy M shape in their hair, or I don't know. I can't come up with any. I usually just do this oval shape. With men's hair, it's much more complicated. They have pretty pretty deep sideburns that would go along with a a a, a mustache essentially. And then they have this crazy zigzag, and then from the back view, hair is essentially goes in circular motions. Maybe you can have one or two or three of these, but mostly these are to help you determine how the hair grows. Also, you can draw the neck in any way, shape you like, determining how like muscular or skinny the person is. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and leave a like.